The 3 stages of growth, from codependency to conscious partnership on the twin flame journey. Hi, I'm Agi, and welcome to Reach Your Soul. There is a very interesting pattern that many of us move through in different areas of life. In relationships, in career, in finances, in any other situations. In the way we make decisions. And most of the time, we don't even fully realize it while it's happening. We just unconsciously do whatever we used to do. Only later we do look back and notice that we have been moving through the same cycle again and again, just in different forms. And today in this video, I want to talk about this development on the twin flame journey, because I lived through it myself for many years, and I also see it consciously and also constantly in the journeys of my clients. This path has 3 major stages, and the most important thing to understand is this: none of these stages are wrong, and none of them are the final destination. This is a lifelong process. This journey is about our awakening. What we truly integrate here on the journey, on our way, becomes embodied. And what we haven't integrated yet, life will gently bring it back to us again and again. So every stage matters, and every stage has a purpose. So let's start with stage 1, which is when the structure comes from outside of us, from the outside world. In the first stage, life often begins inside an already existing system. This could be a marriage, a relationship, a workplace, any family structure, or any shared environment where decisions, responsibilities, and space are already organized in a certain way. And in this stage, we usually adapt to the system. We don't really create the structure yet because we don't even know how to create it. We just adapt ourselves to the system, to the existing one. We enter into frameworks that already exist, and we learn how to function inside these systems. And very often we move through this phase almost absolutely unconsciously. We carry inherited patterns, conditioning, survival responses, and belief systems, and we see the world through the lens we have been taught to wear. This is when we learn how rules work, how to fit into systems, how to manage our needs around other people, and sometimes even what it means just to function in everyday life. And this stage is very, very important, because this is where we begin to understand how relationships and systems operate in the physical world. But it's also often the stage where we start feeling that something doesn't fully align here. We feel limited, restricted, disconnected from ourselves. But still, we continue following the structure. And sometimes because we don't want to hurt others, and sometimes because we are afraid of taking responsibility on our own, and sometimes because deep down we are terrified of what might happen if we fully choose ourselves. Because real decisions change us, and they also reveal what others mirror back to us. And I think many people on the twin flame journey spend a long time here. I know I did. Looking at different areas of life and almost wanting to close the book immediately. This feels too much. I don't know what to do with this, and I will deal with this later, but please not now. And this is where the paths begin to separate. Some people close the book forever and return to the family life and the familiarities they already know. And others slowly, gently begin allowing themselves to change. And let's continue with stage 2, which is a phase of learning how to hold yourself in your autonomy. At some point, many people leave the old structure behind, sometimes through divorce, sometimes through losing a job. And then begins the second stage, the stage where it feels like we must hold everything on our own, living alone after a relationship, building an independent life, creating a business alone, making decisions without constant reassurance. And this stage can feel incredibly difficult, but it's also deeply strengthening, because without this phase, true balance can't exist. It just can't happen. Because if I cannot hold myself, then how could someone else ever offer me unconditional stability without me emotionally depending on it? This is where we learn that we can make decisions without external validation, that we can survive uncertainty, that we don't collapse when support disappears, and that we are responsible for our own lives. This is where inner stability slowly begins to form, and where we stop hiding from both our greatness and our imperfections. But many people also get stuck here, because this stage can slowly turn into emotional isolation or overfunctioning. And sometimes we became responsible too early in time. So now we hold ourselves together through control, through pride, through hyper-independence, through an unhealthy form of masculine energy. And not because we're truly safe there, but because letting go of control still feels absolutely dangerous. And somewhere underneath, there is still the fear. What if I trust again? What if I soften? I lose myself in the process. What if I allow someone closer? And here comes stage 3, the conscious partnership. The first stage is not simply just being with someone else. This is a completely different quality of connection. Because here, it's no longer about one person controls and the other one adapts, or one person carries everything alone. This is where two stable systems meet. Two people who have already learned how to stand on their own, and now they consciously choose to build this or something together. This can appear in relationships, in business partnerships, in creative projects, or in any shared visions. And not from lack, not from survival, and not from dependency, but from inner stability on both sides. And this is where conscious collaboration begins, and both people need inner maturity for this stage. Both need grounded feminine and masculine energy within themselves. So the connection is no longer, oh fine, let's just make this work somehow, but instead a conscious decision made again and again, each and every day. Choosing yourself, choosing the shared vision, choosing the connection even when life becomes uncomfortable. In these kinds of connections, the Divine Feminine embodies her feminine energy, and the Divine Masculine embodies his own masculine energy, not by forcing and not by chasing and not even by controlling, but by standing fully inside themselves. And here comes a very important realization that none of these stages can be skipped. These stages are not working against each other. Each one is necessary on this process. Adaptation teaches us connection. This is often the feminine strength. Solitude teaches us stability. This is often the masculine strength. And conscious partnership teaches us how to share space without losing ourselves. And if one of these stages is missing, the balance remains incomplete. Because if we have never experienced both ends of the spectrum, how could we ever truly find the center of it? And this is why life often repeats the same lessons. Different people, different circumstances, different environments, but the same internal pattern. Almost like life keeps bringing us the same lesson all the time in new forms, and not against us, but for us. The nervous system is a crucial part on this journey. And maybe this is a very important part here also in the video, because these stages can't be just rushed. I wanted to rush them too, don't worry. I was everywhere during this couple of years period. And I see this with clients all the time. At first, when we still feel powerless, we often move slowly through life. But once we awaken, once we finally decide, yes, I'm going to change my life, we sometimes swing into the opposite extreme. We forget this, that this journey is a marathon and not a sprint anymore. And the nervous system needs time to adapt to this process. Time to process endings. Time to learn stability. And time to feel safe alone. And later, time to feel safe connecting again, especially in ways we may have never experienced before. Because this isn't only about decisions, it's about nervous system integration. And if we rush the process, we often skip embodiment. Externally, things may change, but internally, the old patterns are still running underneath. And then life brings the same lessons back again. Different faces, different places, but the same energy. And here, the real key is really for a change, is the integration. Real transformation is not about quickly leaving relationships, quickly changing jobs, quickly moving away and quickly escaping discomfort. Real transformation happens through this integration, because what we don't integrate, we have to repeat. And what we integrate, we no longer need to relive. And what we integrate, we become. And this may be the most important sentence of all. We don't create change only from the outside. We embody it from within. And maybe in different areas of your life, you are currently standing in different stages at the same time. Maybe somewhere you are still adapting, and somewhere deep inside, a new shared place or space is slowly preparing itself. And that's completely okay. The goal is never perfection. The goal is presence. All the time present with yourself, with all kinds of emotions that come up in you through the process. And once stability is there, the wind can blow and the waves can rise. But instead of fighting life, you begin learning how to move with it. Thank you for being here with me today, and I wish you a beautiful journey. If you like this video, please press like or subscribe to this channel, and see you in the next video. Bye everyone.